Been married for years at this point. We will have had probably a child, maybe two. Who knows? Probably one. Hopefully one and only one, but I can do two. I think that in 10 years I will have been stable in my career. I'll be worrying about my kids and what's going on at work and my home life and home improvements. And I feel like that's what my life will look like in 10 years because I'll be happy enough to be able to focus on different aspects of my life rather than one narrow-minded journey of only education or only work or only anything very specific. I just will be content enough to broaden my scope of interest in my life.
Yeah, of course. Moving on, I got a couple questions regarding some of your previous experiences, whether it may be at work or shadowing or during your education. So, for the first one, I would like you to tell me about a time where you had an experience or an event that you would say impacted you in a negative way, or some hardship that you went through, and just what your takeaways were from that situation and how that impacted you.
Well, I have lived with my stepfather my entire life. He has just passed about half a year ago now-ish. I'd watched him decline. It's okay. Thank you. But I had watched him decline in old health, being older, and I watched his health decline, two separate factors. But at the same time, he had colon cancer, but he was very, very big on not going to the hospital, not going to see medical care. He believed that the body would heal itself. He didn't want to take any medicine. He didn't want to go through any surgery. He just wanted to go to work and come home and provide for me and my mom. And that's what he did. And in his last month, you could really see it. He took his time off and he just stayed at home. He went to the bathroom more than he stayed in his room. And well, on his last day, he had fallen, and I saw him. He told me he had fallen 3 hours ago, and I tried to get him back up. And when I finally got him stood up in a chair, he died in the chair. And, part of me didn't think that that was true. I took off my Apple Watch to try to see his heart, if his heart was beating, after I'd taken his pulse, and I didn't feel a pulse, and I was just like, there's no way that he's just sleeping. So then I took out my watch, and the watch detected a pulse, and I was like, okay, maybe I just couldn't feel his pulse. Maybe he's just really cold, and the pulse is really faint. And I'm calling his brother. His brother is saying he's a DNR, and I cannot call an ambulance. He does not want to be resuscitated if he passes, and well, he did. He passed, and what I did after that was buy a house and start a job at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. So I think my biggest takeaway from that experience is that you can't change people. All you can do is help them along their journey. I watched him get old and not want any attention or help. I watched him decline very steadily and then very drastically. And in all this time, he never changed. And with every change that he brought about, he chose that for himself. You could never ever find him eating a salad in my entire life up until his last year. There's nothing that you can do to change someone's mind unless they want their mind to be changed. And I want to be the help for people, whether that is their supporting shoulder for them to fall onto, or whether that is their emotional support to help them through whatever it is that they're choosing. But all you can do is be there for someone in any and every aspect of the word, and you don't need to be there to try and change their lives, because you have to be able to let people live on their own life and love them for who they are.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to hear from you are in situations where you've had to, I suppose, work as a group to achieve a common goal. In such situations, how would you describe your leadership style?
I would say I am a very vocal over communicator. I like to drink a bunch of coffee and state every single observation that I see, every single action that I'm doing. I like to explain every single step that I'm going through, and I like to over-explain in very thorough detail every single moment of everything that I'm doing. So in terms of leadership, I'm a very lead by example. If I am showing someone how to take out the trash, for example, I teach it as if they don't know what trash is. And I start off with every time I'm training someone or teaching someone something, I very clearly preface, hey, I understand that you might know some of the knowledge that I'm telling you. I want to preface by letting you know that everything that I'm explaining to you, I teach very specifically and very in detail. I am in no way attempting to be condescending towards you. And I hope you can understand that I'm just trying to teach the best that I can. And everyone has been very understanding because I very clearly state that up front. And I teach very thoroughly. And so if I'm teaching someone how to take out the trash, I am obviously going to be taking out the trash first to show them how to do it. And then as time goes on, we'll take out the trash together. And that is how it will be every single time, every step of the way, until there's times in leadership where you need to delegate those duties. But then I know they know how to take out the trash.
Yeah, sounds good. And then, have you ever had a situation where, even though your style may be one that you have found success in, have you ever had a situation where you had to adapt or maybe slightly change your style in response to the needs of a particular group?
Oh yeah, definitely. Very, very, very definitely. I worked at a restaurant and still do before working at the hospital. The hospital is filled with very, very large amount of women, but very like-minded, mature, level-headed, educated, kind, and caring people. And that is the very vast majority of the staff. And leading someone that's like-minded as myself is easy to do because you understand them, and you understand them like at the core of their soul and their being, of like who they are and what their intentions are. But at the restaurant, when I'm teaching someone who, and leading a group of people who doesn't care about being there the next day, who is just another passing job for them, is just another job in college or a summer job for them, is just getting their paycheck and not doing anything more than that and not wishing for anything more than that. Leading people who think that belittling others is the common form of speaking to people, I have very much been able to adapt very quickly and understandably towards different groups of people and different means of learning. And I feel like I've done very well. I've been able to train lots of different people and have been taking up leadership roles in lots of different employments, not lots of different, like in a restaurant position where people are very different and people are very vocal in very different ways. But I think that the main takeaway that I've been able to grasp from my different experiences and situations and leading different groups of people is that just show kindness and respect everyone, even if they don't respect you, and be super patient, and everything always works out. It really does. People always respond well, even if you're very persistently kind. Even if they don't like you because you're kind, and then they disrespect you because you respect them and they don't feel like they've earned it, it'll work out. You'll always be able to get through to people if you have a level head.
Yeah, sounds great. We are nearing the end here. I just have one final question for you here. So the last thing that I wanted to ask from you is, in your opinion, what do you think is a more important quality for a good health professional? If you had to pick between these two options, do you think it would be more important to be an independent thinker or to be what I guess people would consider a team player?
I think I don't know why I had to think about that for a second. It's 100% better to be a team player if I had to pick from the two options in a health facility, or you are on a team in a hospital or a healthcare facility. You are on a team of staff. A nurse can't do it all. One doctor can't do it all. One CNA can't do it all. Because as the CNA, you spend the most time with that patient. You feed them, you dress them, you wash them, you care for them, you listen to them, you brush their teeth. And they will know more than the nurse about that patient's personality and how they're really feeling. The nurse, they go and they give them medicines. They have to experience and hear the complaints and listen to the family members, and they are there for all of it. And how are they going to relay these new symptoms and new issues and their personal, what they believe is best for the patient, to the doctor, if there's no doctor there to prescribe the medicine that they need to feed their patients or give to their patients? And the doctor is not going to have enough time to feed and dress and administer all medications to, and monitor and do vitals on, and then do the discharge paperwork for, and be the medical transporter for, and walk them to the cafeteria and put all their food orders in and ask them what they want to eat for dinner. Like, being on a healthcare team involves so many people. That doctor is not able to be their physical therapist for 5 hours of the day, and is not able to be their speech therapist at the same time, is not able to be their chiropractor, and is not able to get their teeth checked. And one doctor can't be specialized in bones and all the other possible specialties for a patient that might need a lot of different specialties to be looked at. So I think it is very good to be an independent thinker, and you can be an independent thinker in a team. So, yeah.
That's good. This was the final question for this interview. This is the conclusion of this interview. I'd like to thank you very much for being here and taking the time to answer these questions.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Yes, of course. We will be keeping in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.